Chris Tomlin.
Chris, you are my white whale. Can I?
Okay, what does that mean?
So the reference, and I'm sure you know the reference from Moby Dick, and he's always chasing the white whale. We have tried multiple times to get together where it's been like, Chris, come do this, and you're like, I'm gone, or you're like, Bobby, do this, and I'm like, I can't. We have tried so many times, yet we have not been able to socially hang out. But I think us trying does. I think
it says something.
Yeah, like I think you're like one of the coolest dudes. Like that I've met professionally that I would like to be friends with personally. And that's rare because I think most people that can professionally have their, this is my professional face.
Yes.
And it's a bit different. But I've tried.
Thank you, man. And I've tried.
Yeah. And I FaceTimed Chris the other night live during a show. And I was a little weird about it because cold call and FaceTime is weird for me because we've never FaceTimed.
No, we've never FaceTimed.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting to see Bobby Bones FaceTime on my phone.
I knew that because we text. But so I was doing a private show in Orlando, and I had people coming up, and they were like, "Hey, play a song." We had a guitar up there, and this guy comes up and goes, "I'm going to play a song of yours." And so Home,
yeah,
he played Home, and so he was just a big fan, and I was like, I mean, I know him, and I have a couple of jokes in my stand-up act about experiences with you that I haven't told you, but they're funny. Don't worry. And then
oh my gosh,
I FaceTimed you, and it's to like 1,000 people, never answered.
I am so sorry, man.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
I'm literally when
Turns out you were doing what?
When I was at a songwriter charity event helping raise money.
You were doing a show.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that till I got home late at night. I looked at my phone. I was like, "There's no way he meant to do that. That was totally pocket dial."
I thought you might think it was a butt dial.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I saw your manager. My wife and I were having breakfast the other day, and I was like, "Tell Chris." Because he won't believe me. It was really not a butt dial. I was trying to FaceTime him so I could show him what was up.
I wish I could have. I wish I'd gone back in time and been ready for that.
Yeah, me
That'd
too.
been
It's
so
so with that
fun.
guy because he was crying. And he only had one day left to live. And his last that's not true. That part's not true. So first, you have books here.
I brought you guys some.
So the book is called
How Great
Is Our God. I feel like I know what the book's about then just by the title, but what is the book about?
Yeah, I just finished it, just released it this past week, and the idea is that just kind of speaking of this culture that we live in, the society that we live in, of like this me, everything is me centered, me driven, like and how do we deal with that in this world, in our life as it is, and living a life to God, and like what does it look like to live a life that the book is kind of a reminder that. Actually, God is the center of all things and not us. And that you can either live two ways. You can live with me as the center and maybe put everything in that orbit, or realize that actually that God is the center and that everything revolves around him. And what I mean by that is just the me monster world we live in these days. And it affects me. It affects all of us. Everybody's affected by this. And it feels like... And it's easy to look at this like the next generation. Go, oh my gosh, you're so self-absorbed. Look at selfies and look at selfie world, and it's easy to point fingers. But then as I was kind of thinking through this book and reading and doing a lot of research, it hit me. It's like this is all of time. This is the issue of mankind, and so I just kind of write about that everybody deals with this. Everybody deals with like how do we get our eyes so off ourselves where actually life does not just revolve around us. And so I titled the book How Great Is Our God because obviously it was one of my more popular songs, and it's like it says everything just in that title. And so yeah, that's kind of the heart of the book.
It is your third biggest streaming song. The number one stream song in my house from my wife's mouth is Good Good Father.
Yes.
Because she just sings it all the time for no reason.
It's who you are.
It's who you are. All the time. There's no reason for her to sing it sometimes, and she's just singing that song.
Yes.
And so in our house, the number one stream song from her head is Good Good Father. Yes.
Well, I appreciate your wife.
And so if they want to get the book, regular places,
Any
like
place.
Amazon, bookstore, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can do it on Audible, or you can do it on...
Do you read it yourself?
I did not on this one.
Did God do it?
Oh, yeah.
God read it.
Hello. I just picture the big, deep voice. If anybody could get God to do it, it would be Chris.
Yeah.
Who did you get to do the reading?
It was
of it?
just a guy that I was listening to a lot, and I was like, I like his voice when he do it, because I listen to a lot of books on Audible, and he said yes. So
why didn't you do it? You have a good voice. You have a known voice.
Thank you very much.
The next book you have to do yourself.
Okay, I should have done it.
So why didn't you though? Just curious. Time.
Time.
Oh.
Yeah, I felt that. That's why I can never hang out
That's
with
all.
you.
It's
too busy.
People will probably maybe think it is you if they skip that part where like I'm reading it, because I got so thrown. I was listening to a book the other day and I thought that that it was the author. I thought I was listening to him the whole time, and then I saw him on YouTube and I was like, he doesn't have that accent.
That is not
like
him.
it's somebody from another country.
That is not him. Yes, I know. Yeah. So yeah, you can listen to it, or you can get it anywhere. You Amazon, all the things. Where you
Or
get books.
let's just have him read the whole thing right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, let's do it.
And
Let's
then
do it.
we'll load it up.
Hit record.
And it's from the Bobby Bones
Page
Show.
1. Yes.
Introduction.
Chris Tomlin is here with us right now. It is Good Friday today. And so 2 things. One, the album that you put out was the Live from Good Friday album.
Yes.
Okay. And then tonight, though, is the show
Yes.
in Nashville.
Right.
So what's happening at the show tonight?
Yeah, this is our 8th year, and how amazing! I would have never thought that when I came to this town. The first year I came to this town, we started it. So I've been here 8 years, and it's just beautiful. It's a night of just gathering all kind of people from all kind of different streams of the church all around Middle Tennessee. People come from all over now to this, and it's at Bridgestone Arena, and it's a night of I have a lot of guests there with me tonight that are singing with me and speaking. And it's been just a night of remembering Good Friday, remembering the cross, remembering this is an incredible weekend, obviously, of the faith. And Easter Sunday, everybody kind of has their place they go. And I thought, well, Good Friday is a place that you could kind of gather maybe everybody from all the different streams of church and see what happens. And I've done this since I lived in Houston, and then I lived in Atlanta and did Good Friday Atlanta. And then I moved here and thought, okay, let's keep this going. And it's turned into something really special. This year, Willie Robertson, Duck Dynasty, he's going to be speaking with me. I've got Ann Wilson. I've got Carrie Job.
Ann Wilson's awesome. She was just in a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
And so she's singing. I've got Carrie Job and a couple surprise guests it's pretty special.
So we'll come back with Chris Tomlin in just a second. But this is Chris from our studio. This is Good Good Father. We're going to play this. Then we'll come back more with Chris Tomlin in just a second. Get tickets. Go to christomlin.com, except it's sold out. Do you guys do the last-minute releases at all?
We did that, and those sold out.
Oh, you did?
And we added more seats and put kind of people behind the stage.
So I don't need to work. Tickets are done.
For you, Bobby, I bet we can do something.
Oh.
But
I was meaning for listeners.
Like to let people know.
Yeah. But it's okay. How about this? Next year, put it on your calendar.
yes.
You have to get tickets to. But he's also going on tour too, big tour. christomlin.com. Got a couple questions for you, and I hope these don't make you uncomfortable. The question number 1 is, if someone comes up to you and says, "I'm a massive fan, would you sign my Bible?"
Ooh,
Has that happened?
it has.
And how do you feel about that?
And I first was just, I always used to say, I'm sorry, I just don't feel like I should do that. And I changed. Not that I think, oh, wow, maybe I'm worthy of doing that now. Not at all. But it's just like, you know what? It just feels, it's more complicated to say, I don't think, it then turns into like more a complication. I was like, absolutely. Because for me, maybe people this has connected them to their faith. And maybe when they read, and so I'll put my name and just point to some kind of scripture in there and say, hey, why don't you read, this is one of my favorites or something like that. I always put a little favorite verse, but just say, point people to that. And, but that is an interesting thing.
Whenever, and you and I've spent a couple of instances together, but when you were over at my house and we had talked for like an hour or so, we were talking about being recognized in public and how you're massive. I mean, you play arenas multiple nights in a row all over the world.
Yes.
So really one of the biggest artists in music, period. But you can go out and possibly not be recognized.
Completely.
So do they confuse you for people? Or are they like, you're that guy from something?
Well, it's Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That's my grandmother used to call me all the time. But this is great. Yeah, this is a perfect example. So I was at the Grammys. It's a perfect example because I was nominated for Grammys. And so I'm doing this red carpet thing. The red carpet thing where you're talking to all the people like you and talking to and I do not want to do this because I'm like, no one knows who I am. I feel embarrassed. I feel like I don't want to make them feel weird. I'm talking to TMZ, E Hollywood, whatever those things are. And I'm just like, I'm not pop culture. I'm just not. And so these people have no clue who I am. I'm walking up, it's just that, hey, I'm Chris. And they're kind of looking at their notes. Who's Chris? I got to talk to him on TV right now. It's like this thing. And I'm doing the interviews and they're all kind. So I finally get to and I went with my buddy, Matt Redman. Matt Redman is another guy who we've written a lot of songs together, would be one of the most prolific songwriters in the world. But if he walked in here, again, you would not know who he is just by face. And so we get to the last, so let's do this together. If we've got to do this, let's do this together. So we're having fun with it. We get to the last station where you take the picture in front of the big Grammy sign. And it's like, Matt, let's just do it together. So we're just like standing there, taking our pictures. Again, no one has acknowledged us. No one has said a word. All the photographers, they're looking for Kardashian. They're looking for Kanye. They're just like, oh my gosh, there's Paris. Oh my gosh, there's Taylor. All the things, and you can hear it. And so you're in that world. And so finally, he's taking a picture, and they were walking off. And this guy, the photographer, goes, Chris, hey Chris. And I was like, oh my gosh, somebody. One guy in this place knows. And so I was like, hey, man, what's up? He goes, okay, thank you. I was just trying to figure out which one of you was Chris.
Oh, that's
which
funny.
Oh,
man.
Oh.
That's funnier than it is hurt. I mean, that's so funny.
Because he's got to write down,
Yeah.
for his little AP photo, which one is Chris. He goes, I was just trying to make sure which one. I was like, great.
Chris! He's like, don't mind if I do. Yes, sir.
And you'll love this, Bobby. Just recently, you'll love this. I was trying to get into, I can't get into Soho House.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think about that?
What do you mean?
All
Why?
everybody who works for me is members.
It's like a membership.
I know,
thing
but
where you
how
can
could
get-
he not?
I've got rejected each time.
Wait, what?
Yes.
What is the reason that they
that's
reject
weird.
you?
I don't know. They don't tell me.
I mean, like I have friends that are real idiots that are in that. place.
Yeah.
That were like welcomed in, like with open arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
That-
I thought, well, everybody I know is there, and they do all these meetings. I should probably sign up. I live far away. I'm probably never going to go, but I thought I should sign up and do this. And so I was like, I sent in my application. It's like, no. It's like,
Did you put Chris
do you have a
like Tomlin?
Grammy Award winner?
That's probably
multiple-
why I got rejected.
Mike D, whenever we travel, like we'll go if I'm doing something, especially internationally, they hold him in the cell because he has the same name as somebody who's committed crimes.
Are you serious?
So I wonder if there's like a Chris Tomlin who once like mooned everybody at the Soho House, and they're like, we're never letting this guy back in, just like the same name. Chris has got a new record out. It's the live record, which is live from Good Friday, but the book is How Great Is Our God. A couple other things I wanted to mention to you. You know, Eddie and myself once recorded a Christian song from, we have the Raging Idiots, and
Yes.
we
I'm
did
sure he's heard it.
well, probably it's probably
Yeah,
he's
of
probably
course.
asked to cover it, but just hadn't got to us yet. We've done a kids record, we've done comedy records, but we did a Christian song, and it's called Jesus Knows. And this is a live version of it. I'd like to play it for you and maybe you'd want us to play this at one of your shows sometime.
I'd love to hear
So
it.
can we hear it? Right? It's only like a minute 30. Okay, here we go.
Use your friend's Netflix account, you think Netflix won't ever find out. Think you're getting away with watching Narcos. Well, you're not. You know why? Because Jesus knows. You get a cute shirt right off the rack. You wear it on a date, but you leave on the tag. Next day you take it back to Kohl's. They'll never find out, but Jesus knows. Jesus knows. When you run a red light at 2 a.m. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Jesus knows. When you fill your water cup with soda, nothing gets past him. When you think nobody's watching and you're all alone, you're wrong. Because Jesus knows.
It's the first part of that song.
This is incredible. I've got to do this.
See, if he
I've gotta do
played, that
this
would be
song.
like if he played that song and we had a
People
recording
would
of it,
love
it
it.
would be and you don't even say you stole it from us.
Maybe we do it tonight. I think it'd be a great kickoff for Good Friday.
Was it
Can you
stealing if
imagine?
it's just him covering it?
No.
No, just don't even just be like, here's a little song I wrote, because then we can sue him for lying.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. But that, people would love that we play that song, and they put their hand, they automatically start putting their hands
yes,
up like they were
absolutely.
praising.
Let's pray.
Jesus knows.
Let's praise.
When you run a red light at 2 a.m. Yes, he does. Yes, he
He
does.
does.
That's the whole song.
That's so good, man.
Yeah, it's a hit.
It is a hit. People love that.
I am a massive fan. I just like, I don't know, you're just fun to be around, and you're also normal, which is odd because you just expect you to come in and have like a white robe and feel, and even though you're not, you don't at all. Because again, if we've grown up or we've grown the last few years, last 10 years or so with your music being such a big part of that, you just feel like you would think you're better than us, but you don't. And I'm letting our audience know you don't in any way.
100%.
Yeah, it's like you come in and you're just a dude.
Yeah.
And my final question is, do people sometimes come to you and ask you, like, hey, what is your advice on this? Like if you were a pastor, and you are, but do they come to you ever and like want you to give them advice on their life if they get a minute with you?
Yeah, well, I get a lot of people pouring out their hearts, like just like if you're talking, it's like, this is what I'm going through, and it's something about usually how the songs have helped them. And
But do they want you to tell them what to do?
Yeah, a lot. What do you think about this? And I get that a lot, and I try to just the best I can. This is what I would. This is how I think about it, and this is what I would do. But I think I take a great responsibility what I do. It's different than just being just an artist out there, just playing music, because I feel a greater responsibility with it, and that there's a weight to it. But I'm just the same. I'm just like anybody else, and got just as human as anybody else, and need the grace of God just like anybody else. But when I walk on that stage, and I'm playing this music with people, I'm not just up there thinking this is just like any other night of music. This is really helping people, hopefully in their faith and connecting to God, and so I take that with great responsibility.
The book is called How Great Is Our God.
Mm-hmm.
The show is tonight, but it's sold out. But again, he is going on a massive tour. Tickets at christomlin.com. It's in a lot of the places almost all the places our show is, but it's like Newark, New Jersey, Hershey, Pennsylvania, Boston, Tulsa, St. Louis, Kansas City. I won't go through every city, but go watch Chris, and everything's going to sell out like tonight. I just got a text from your people going, he does not have tickets for you. Stop asking. Yeah, so I'm in trouble.
Have you ever run a red light?
Run a red light
At 2 a.m.?
At 2 a.m., right.
Yes,
right.
he does.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Have you ever kept tags on clothes and
No,
returned?
no, that's just not me.
What is your? Just kidding.
Amy's like,
What's
what is your greatest sin?
confession right now?
What's your deepest, darkest?
Tell us your sins.
Just kidding.
Okay, let's wrap on this because maybe everybody on the show doesn't know that. But will you talk about, it's a final story of you playing guitar. Like what happened to you and why you started playing guitar.
Yeah, I got mononucleosis, whatever that is. When I was a kid, 9 years old, my dad had a pharmacy and in a little town in Texas, and he had a guitar shop he had a baseball card shop and a guitar shop in the pharmacy, and he would teach. And my dad loved country music. That's what he loved. He loved all Willie and Waylon. And my first concert ever was Willie Nelson. I was 5 years old. I remember it vividly. And he taught me. He said, "Man, Chris, so the doctor said you got to be home all summer." I got it during the summer. I was 9 years old and I couldn't play baseball. Baseball was my whole life, and I thought my life is over at 9 years old. And you're like, you're gonna stay home. And my dad said, "Hey, okay, you're driving us crazy because you can't go outside. You can't be with your friends. Well, can I teach you to play guitar?" And I was like, okay. So every day my dad in the morning, he would write out little notes. He'd write out how to play the chords. He'd show where to put the fingers, and while he'd go to work. And then I would just sit there all day and play songs and learn. It was all Willie's songs. And that's kind of how I learned to play. And it started this trajectory. It would change my life. I never would have dreamed that I would and then I would play at my little church. And we had a small little church, and I would get to play there. And it was so, and I would go home and tell my mom. It's as simple as I knew how to say it. Even as a kid, I'd say, "Mom, I like it when people sing with me, sing songs with me. I don't really like to get up there and just play and everybody stare at me. I like it when people sing with me." And I had no idea that was kind of how God was wiring me to write songs that people would sing. And so my hope through all of this, through all the years, is that even tonight, is that people, it's not about what's on stage. It's just about people, it's just all of us together. And this is our connecting to God. And that's what I've always tried to write songs that help people in that way. And so the songs have come from that kind of place. But it all started with my dad and some country songs.
With mono.
And some mono.
Did you kiss somebody like a girl? Or,
Man.
Yeah,
9 years old, I was
chilling.
A long time ago, man.
I mean, 9 years old, I was ladies, man.
The new book, How Great Is Our God, Living a Worship-Led Life in a Me-Driven World. It came out last week, whenever March 19th was, last week.
Yeah.
Last Friday or something. Thank you, Chris. Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you, man. Great to be on the show.
Always
Appreciate
love
it.
having you here. And I feel like once he's in, I got like a couple free sins I can do because I'm like, I got bonus.
Let it rip.
Got him in, so I can go do whatever
Jesus
and just
knows.
get like Steven. Yeah.
Jesus knows,
Jesus knows. Yes. All right, there he is. Chris Tomlin, everybody.
It's about